What's up, everyone? This is the Raw Truth coming back with part two, and I want to dig more into these feelings of the black man. Remember, I told you in part one, I gave you so many examples of why what black boys had to go through as being black boys transitioning to young men and transitioning to man. How they were taught to suppress their feelings while everybody else can do anything to that boy, whether it's getting beat by his mother, whether it's for a good reason or bad. Majority of the times it's bad. Why I'm saying majority of the time it's bad? Because I have seen little black boys get popped upside his head because he's walking down the street, his ice cream cone is melting, and his ice cream fell. And he gets popped outside the head. What is the greatest things our mothers ever said? If anybody has heard this, I want you to put it in my comment section. What is the greatest thing that we ever heard our mother say? Boy, if you don't shut up, I'm going to give you something to cry for. After the belt unhit us, after the extension cord has hit us and bruised us and hurt us very bad, and we're crying like crazy. And what did our mother say? Boy, you better shut up or I'm going to give you some more. Well, hell, if something sharp was hitting your fucking ass when you keep crying. So we were taught, through beatings from our mothers, to shut the fuck up and take it. We were taught for when we fall down on the street, hurt ourselves, fall down the stairs, hurt ourselves. We were taught to suppress our feelings. So we were taught to when we're going out for the dating scene, for the first time, we were taught to handle with rejection with pride and don't have feelings over that. We were taught by being by when people are saying something to us as young men, or even children growing into little boys growing into young men, even all the way up to now. We were taught that those class clowns, those niggas, can sit up there and say anything that they want, and we have to take it. Over a period of time, what that really does is that emasculates us. That emasculates us because it's letting us know that we are not worthy while everybody else is. And I think that's a big plan that that our mothers have raised us in, and then raising us in that produces the perfect slave. Ooh. I know, I know, hold up. I'm getting somewhere, because I know folks is like, what the fuck you talking about? I am not a slave. Well, think about it. During slavery, we was beaten like crazy, and we had to take it, right? In slavery days, things didn't, we fall, something happens to us, we have to still show ourselves to be what? Strong, even though we were taking out a power which was what? Painless. And we didn't have no power which is painless. We wanted to get women to have a majority of our women not accept us, because a lot of them, and I'm going to get into Wilberforce University and expose the truth about that. I'm going to get to that later on down the line. But we wanted our woman, but the slave master took us, so we had to handle the rejection because the majority of our women wanted the slave master and didn't want us. So we had to learn how to learn rejection, and we couldn't show any feelings and stuff like that because that was a sign of being weak. Don't you understand? These homes that our little boys are being raised in are what? Slave headquarters. Their little Guantanamo Bays that's going on there. And what happens is whenever a little boy has taught and been conditioned to suppress itself, what's being happen is a monster is being raised, not a human being. Cause see, we want to always talk about we want justice, no peace. Well, and one of the ways to create justice is to have equality, holding mothers accountable for emasculating their sons. That's why we have a lot of podcasters out there. That's why we had a lot of men talking on YouTube. We had to hold that shit accountable. One way we could also balance the equation out here is anybody picking on men or saying shit to try to hurt them, call the motherfuckers out. But no, we don't do that because we supposed to be men. We supposed to take it like a man until something happens. Until something happens where that man can't take it no more, and a lot more podcasters are coming on YouTube, and black women, you're saying the same things as they heard when they was little. Remember, black women, y'all always say your mama black, your mama black. Well, why would you say your mama black? Because your mama black, and you see your mama do that to your little brother or your older brother. It's not only a making of a monster, it's making of a simp. Because we've been taught this lesson by our mothers like crazy, that they could do no wrong, that we're supposed to suck it up and everything like that, that it has made us numb to even think that, hey, if I go out and say these kind of things, I'll be in trouble. I'll be in trouble. I can't say nothing. I can't say nothing. Why? It's not good to cry. Yes, it is. It's good to have feelings. It's good to have emotions. Why? Because if it's not good to have feelings and good to have emotions, why do you have them in the first place? As I mentioned, crying is medicine. Why is crying medicine? Because it helps relieve that stress. And it's a shame that a lot of times when you see men cry, you're seeing them cry for the simple fact that they lost their loved ones. Somebody got gunned down in the street, you see them cry. And they're crying like crazy, and a lot of them tears of them crying over a loved one being lost, a lot of that tears too is mixed from all the shit that he went through in his fucking house because he wasn't allowed to express himself. And a lot of times these people who took another person's life took that person's life because he snapped, because he was never in position to handle himself as a man, because he was stripped of that. But every time I'm looking at comments, the majority of comments that black woman is saying is, you know, you're a crybaby. Crybaby. Explain to me a crybaby. Let's talk about what the fuck is a crybaby. A crybaby is not a man who is angry and upset that he's the one that's getting rejected, knowing that what? He wants to look out and love your black ass, but your black ass want to sit up there and be with these thugs and drug dealers and stuff like that. But if you can't, and they're the last resort because you couldn't have the true thug and drug dealer, which is the white man, which you always put in his face. Like what? Why do you put that in his face? Because you want him to feel a certain way, and then when he feels a certain way, and tell your black ass, now he's a crybaby. No, he's not a crybaby. He's not a crybaby at all. A crybaby is somebody who cries when they make a wrong fucking decision, and cry whenever they don't like the result or the consequences. Let's talk about a fucking crybaby. How about that? Let's talk about a crybaby when you spread your fucking legs and have 3 or 4 kids by 3 or 4 different baby fathers, and then next you know it, because you all ran the fuck through and no man wants you now you're the one crying. Why? Because you can't get your fucking way. And when you can't get your fucking way, you post comments and talk about, oh, they crying. They're crybabies now. They're crybabies now when you are looking at the fucking mirror because you're a fucking crybaby because you cannot dictate your consequence. You can't dictate what's your future or what's happening to you. And so because you're feeling some type of way because black men now are speaking up and actually expressing themselves, now they're crybabies. Because you black women, the way over the vast majority of you black women do not want your black man to feel like anything. You don't respect your black man's feelings at all. Because the only ones that you care about is your fucking self. Because you have a severe case of self-entitlement. You're a spoiled brat little girls who haven't even grown up to be a woman. But yet you're looking at the man and calling him a crybaby. Where is the shows that black men are crying that they can't get a woman? Where are they at? Where they at? Where is it that 70% of black men are crying because they can't get married? Where are they at? So before you black women even sit up there and talk about the black man can't have feelings, you best check your own damn self. Because y'all the one who's crying. And that's why y'all make those kind of insults. Because a lot of times, majority of times when you black women say shit, that shit can be said right back to you because you're only calling out your insecurities by deflecting it on us good black men who's calling you out. It's okay for a black man to have feelings. That Jesus you love in the Bible, the scripture says Jesus wept. How come Jesus could cry? Isn't that something? A black man, how come he can cry? Right? See, when you don't have black men to express himself and he has not been taught to express himself, you raise a zombie and you raise a monster. That's a monster. Anybody who doesn't feel, who is taught not to feel, is a damn monster. And you wonder why these little boys are growing up to be murderers. You wonder why these little boys are growing up and feeling the prison system. These little boys is growing up and wreaking havoc and terrorizing the whole doggone neighborhood. Because he was taught that's what it is to be a man. To be a man. Yeah, I gotta be a man. I gotta show myself. Because his feelings was oppressed. Couple that with abuse. I remember my one of my podcasts when I was in my early stages of podcasting. When I started off, one of the videos, my earliest videos, was called "Does the Black Man Have Stockholm Syndrome to the Black Woman?" And I was bringing out the case of how, again, the little black boy's manhood was stunted because black women lead in child abuse. They lead in child abuse. So if you're constantly abusing these little boys, then how dare you black women complain about the little boys you suppressed? Y'all be on Oprah when your son signing a contract for the NBA. Y'all be featured on Oprah. Talk about Oprah, yeah, not racist. No, you did. You ain't raised that boy. That boy had a talent. Somebody seen that he has a talent that he could bring millions, or if not billions, to his empire. So he decided to give that child a chance in the NBA just because he could dunk a basketball. Just because he could catch a football or throw a football or a tackle. Come on, let's get real. And when you look at these kids, I call them, who are in grown men's bodies, that's what the fuck majority of them are. As soon as they get money and shit, what? They be having problems. Why? Because they were not mature men. They were physically fit, but yet in their minds emotionally bankrupt. But the only thing I'm hearing from black women is that these black men are crybabies. And you know what? When you say that, you let me know how you raising your little boys. Because if you're talking about the black man who's giving you accountability and holding you responsible for your actions as crybabies, then what the fuck you raising in your own home? Every time you black woman open up your fucking mouth, you fucking let us know what the fuck is going on. I'll be back with part 3. I'll be back.